What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, I'm going to be listing out for you my least favorite and most favorite eyeshadow palettes. I asked you guys in a previous video if you guys were interested in seeing something like this, and I saw one comment saying yes, so I was like, okay, let me make it. So yeah, I'm just going to be listing out the reasons why I like it or don't like it. They're actually palettes that I have owned and used multiple times, so this video may be a little bit lengthy. I don't have every single palette that I own because, y'all, I probably have about 100 palettes. I'm a hoarder when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, so that's why I thought it would be cool to make this video to give you guys a little insight on my personal favorites and least favorites. Also, speaking of eyeshadow, I did do a tutorial on this. This was kind of like my eyeshadow for beginners tutorial, so if you guys are interested in that, I'll go ahead and leave a link right up here. That way you guys can check it out. I feel like this eyeshadow look is really not the best, obviously, but I wanted to do something that was simple and easy so that way you guys can follow along too, because a lot of people do tell me in my reviews I do really dramatic looks, but it's just because I feel the need to do something like really crazy, you know, to show the performance of the shadow. So I did something really simple with this look. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. Anyways, let me not ramble because I feel like this video may get really long because there is a lot of talking about all these eyeshadow palettes that I have stacked up right here. I tried to narrow it down because I was like, let me not put all of them. So I think I have like 10. So anyways, y'all, let me shut up. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so that way you guys get notified when I upload a new video. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. That does help me out. If you guys want to see kind of like a video of all my eyeshadow palettes, let me know down below. I feel like that video would just be like really long, but maybe I won't really talk about them in the video. I'll just show you guys them. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. Anyways, y'all, let me shut up and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, the first palette that I want to start off with, because I feel like it's super underrated, is a lot of people don't talk about Stila. This Stila shadow, oh sorry, it's like, it looks like a gold brick, so it's like super reflective. This one is called After Hours, and you guys, I don't want to get into swatches of every single palette, but I do want to show you guys swatches of these shadows because they are so beautiful. Let me go ahead and put it closer. Let's see if it'll adjust right here. There we go. They are so beautiful. I'm going to show you guys a swatch of this one right here, because like I said, a lot of them are super underrated. Do you guys see this? Let's see if it'll focus. Look how beautiful that is. And let me show you the green too. If you guys like shimmer shades, like, oh my gosh, do you guys see how bomb that is? And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about Stila, so I was like, let me throw this in this video because this right here for shimmers is so bomb. But even the mattes are good too, but they're just not my favorite shades of matte, so I never really use them. But for the shimmers, I do, because oh my gosh, they're so bomb. And you guys, I got this palette while it was on sale during Christmas time, and it was only $30, so that's a really good deal. And I just feel like Stila eyeshadows are super underrated. Nobody talks about them, and I feel like they're pretty affordable and really bomb. So I wanted to throw this in here underneath one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes because the quality is just so amazing, especially for the price point. And the next palette on the list is actually going to be one of my least favorites, and that actually kind of makes me sad to say this because Hank and Henry, as you guys know, I really love the brand. Literally my #1 favorite mascara, as well as eyeliner. Oh my gosh, and his highlighters are so amazing. However, this palette, I just don't know why it did not perform well for me whatsoever. This is called In Living Color, or Living in Color, sorry. And the packaging is like super cute, but I said that weird, cute. But I don't know, the performance of the shadows just didn't really work too well for me, and I was actually really excited when I saw the swatches of these on his story when this had first came out, and I was like, oh my god, that palette looks bomb, and he actually sent it to me in PR. I was super excited, but then I used it and I was like, oh, I don't know. The quality to me just really wasn't good. The shimmers do not show up very well. Maybe it's just my palette that was like a little bit messed up. But yeah, I don't know. The mattes were okay though. The mattes were okay, but considering there's some beautiful shades of shimmer in here, I tried to build a look with it actually twice, and I just did not like the way they were performing. So I love Hank and Henry, but this was just a no for me. I really did not like it. All right, you guys, so I don't have any type of like order with this. I'm just trying to do like one I like, one I don't like. The next on the list is going to be one that I like. However, the packaging to me, this is so tacky and just so, I don't know, it's just so cheap looking. However, I used to be on Violet Voss's PR list, okay? And this is actually while I was working as a freelance makeup artist as well as working at MAC. This palette right here, I would travel with all the time. It may not be picking up right now on camera, but the shades in here are so beautiful. And if you guys are freelance artists, this is a great great palette to have because the mattes in here work really, really good, and the shimmers do have color payoff as well too. I will say though, the shimmers inside here are not very shimmery, they're very like metallic-y. So if you're looking for something with a shine, I wouldn't necessarily recommend these, but if you're looking for like a frost or kind of like a metallic, then I would go for this. This to me, I used it so much and clearly didn't even touch pan on any of them, but I thought it was so convenient to actually work with. The name of this palette is called the Ride or Die, which actually makes sense because I feel like it pretty much has every color that you need because they're all in there, and the formula is actually really, really good. I don't know the price on this because like I said, it was sent to me in PR, but I would definitely recommend this. Besides the packaging, I'm like, this packaging is just, I don't know, it's so tacky. It's just not my cup of tea, but let me tell you, the shadows worked really, really good. And there's one shade in here in particular. You guys are always asking like, oh, what's that highlight? It's called Allison. It's this shade right here, which you guys probably can't see. It's called Allison, but it's very similar to Max Motif. It has this like pretty pink shift to it. It is so bomb. So I really, really like this palette, just not the packaging. All right, and the next one on here, the Conspiracy palette. I told you guys this before. This palette, I literally never, I never reach for it. I never use it. The colors just, like I said so many times in my review, as well as my thoughts and opinions video, the colors of this palette just don't, I don't know. They just, I never reach for it. I never use it. However, with that said, when I did do my review, the shadows worked really well. They blended out really well. The shimmers were good. As you guys know, or if you guys have not seen my Jeffree Star Cosmetics reviews before, I don't really like his regular formula of his shimmers. I just feel like they're very lackluster and they don't really shine very much. However, he did come out with a new formula in the Cremated and Bloodlust collection called like the Diamond Shimmer or something like that. Those are bomb. Those are really good. However, this palette, I literally never, ever, ever reach for it. I honestly have used it one time, I think maybe twice. I may have done 2 looks with this. I really don't remember, but I never reach for it to do any type of looks. I don't know why. The colors to me, they just don't inspire me. Like, I don't look at this and say like, oh my gosh, I want to create this and create that. I'm just very like about it. But of course, I just bought it to do a review. And at the time, I like Shane Dawson, but my opinion's kind of changed. So yeah, I kind of regret buying this, and I never even use it. But I just want to say, if you guys do like the colors, the formula and everything, it actually did work well. I had no type of performance issues whatsoever with this palette. It's just not something that I ever go for because the colors just don't make sense. Okay, these next 2 palettes, I'm just going to go ahead and talk in one because I feel the same way about them. As you guys know, if you guys are new here, this is my #1 favorite palette, the Norvina Volume 1. However, I know recently Anastasia Beverly Hills has been a little shady underneath Norvina's supervision. I bought these palettes obviously before I knew any of that. However, I do think that she is righting her wrongs. I could be wrong, but I think that she is. Anyways, you guys, that's totally off topic because we're talking about makeup only today. These 2 palettes right here, let me go ahead and show you. The Volume 1 is... it's my favorite. You guys know I love purples, like love purples so much. So the colors within this palette, oh my gosh, you guys, the mattes work so good. They label it as a pro pigment palette, so it will definitely stain your eyes. But if you guys have brown eyes, hazel eyes, or green eyes, this palette right here will be your best friend. It is so amazing. The mattes in here actually are some of my favorite matte formulas that I've ever used. I feel like they blend out on their own. I don't have to do any type of work. The shimmers are great too, and these were actually recently on sale for just $30, except for the Volume 4. So this Volume 4 right here, I think is just super bomb too. I love it, don't get me wrong. However, I don't love it as much as the Volume 1. I just love purples on my eyes. I feel like it makes my eyes look a little bit green, even though they're completely caca brown. But this palette right here has a beautiful color layout. Let me go ahead and put it closer because I feel like it's kind of getting washed out, but it is super, super bomb, and I love this palette. And same thing, except for with this, I'm sorry, the Volume 4, it has 2 of these pressed glitters, and these are actually really, really good and easy to use. I used it in my tutorial, so y'all, I love these palettes. Hopefully Norvina gets it together while working or being the CEO or whatever she is considered these days of Anastasia Beverly Hills, because these palettes are bomb, and I would like to continue supporting them because they're really, really good. So we'll see if Norvina, you know, continues messing up the brand or if she'll get it together. But like I said, speaking about makeup only, those palettes are bomb. And ironically enough, next on the list, as well as Subculture, you guys, Subculture... You guys are gonna think I'm so stupid, but I have a problem with returning things. Like, I just don't feel comfortable returning things, and I know that that's really, really stupid. Whenever I buy something, I feel kind of dumb returning it. That palette though, Subculture, was the first ever eyeshadow palette that I have ever returned. That was just horrible. It was so terrible. I have never actually used a eyeshadow palette as bad as Subculture, which ironically enough, so many people liked it. However, there was literally thousands of people that hated it. So that is definitely one of my least favorite palettes. However, I don't have it here because I returned it. But the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette is another one that I am just kind of like, eh. Like, honestly, you guys, I use this for my tutorial, or my review, sorry, and I haven't reached for it since then. This shade right here, Sphere, is so terrible, you guys, like completely terrible. It's very similar to the food videos shade inside the Conspiracy palette. However, that one is better, except for they're both really chalky, but I know it's because of the pigmentation, because it's neon as well as it's really light. So I understand it's hard to make, but it's so bad. However, it's the weirdest thing to me, you guys. I did look up the formula, and the formula in this is different to the Pro Pigment palettes by Norvina. And you guys, these formulas just don't do nothing for me. I don't know why. I just don't really care for them. Everyone was so obsessed with Modern Renaissance. And I will say, you know what? Modern Renaissance was pretty good. However, it wasn't like my favorite compared to the Norvina ones. And same thing with this. I literally have not used it since then, and I'm just kind of like, eh, with it. But low-key, I probably should have just returned this one too. But like I said, I just feel bad. But this is definitely one of my least favorites. Okay, and the next on the list, actually, I want to put two pictures up of the Desert Dusk, as well as, what is it called? Like the Rose Gold, her very, very first one. This is the Huda Beauty nude palette, but like I said, as well as those two, I went completely crazy looking for them because I know that I had them. I did reviews on them, and I cannot find them anywhere, and that bothers me so much because when I was doing this eyeshadow look, I wanted to use the Desert Dusk palette, and I cannot find it anywhere. However, I want to say that these palettes are actually some of my favorite. I really, really love them, and it's so crazy because I see a lot of people online saying like, oh my gosh, they're terrible. I feel like they're great. I feel like the mattes are really good. They blend out very, very well. Her shimmers are super bomb, as well as her pressed glitters. I really, really like her pressed glitters. Now, I just want to say, is this palette worth $65? Absolutely not. Like, honestly, I would not pay $65 for it, and I didn't. The only one that I paid full price for is actually the first one, which I think was called the Rose Gold. $65 is way too overpriced for these, especially because the packaging is so cheap. It's literally just like wrapped in paper and cardboard. So I'm like, $65 for this, it's a definite no. However, I did get 40% off with my Namies discount, which is a pro makeup discount. So 40% off, I'm kind of like, you know what, it's good for that price. However, if I had to pay $65 for this, I definitely would not. I feel like that's overpriced, specifically because of the packaging. Now, I know some of you guys don't really care about the packaging. However, someone like me, because I do collect these things, the Norvina palettes are great because they're very like sturdy and hard. So I feel like that is worth $65, as well as it's more product compared to this. So I do definitely love the formula of these. I just don't like the price point, and I gotta tell you guys, I would not pay $65, but with my 40% off, that's how I got this, and I really, really like it. I don't see why so many people complain about it. I feel like it's a really, really good palette. Okay, you guys, I only have a few more. I'm so sorry. I know this video is already getting kind of long. I'm trying to talk as fast as possible so that way I don't carry on. I'm telling you guys, I have so many eyeshadow palettes. If you guys were to see my whole eyeshadow palette drawer, y'all would probably call TLC hoarders because I have so many. I don't know why. I just love eyeshadow palettes. Like, that's my favorite part of makeup, is doing eyeshadow. So anyways, the next on the list, which I did this green with, this is the Pat McGrath. I don't know the name of it. I'll put it right up here though. However, this was sent to me by a subscriber of mine. Her name is Alicia, and I have to say thank you so much, boo. This palette, first of all, you guys, this is my first Pat McGrath palette. I did order the Divine Rose too, and I'm waiting for that right now. And you guys, Pat McGrath shimmers, I mean, come on. They are just so out of this world amazing. However, this little palette right here, $65. I'm like, oh, and I paid $125 for the Divine Rose too. It's about time that I finally did it. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, I have been wanting Pat McGrath literally for a year, actually probably over a year. And I finally just pulled the trigger, actually thanks to you guys sending me super chats on my live videos. That's the reason why I did it. So I'm really excited for that to come in. I'm having this underneath my favorite palette specifically because I feel like it is very special to me, that this is like one of the first things that I got in my P.O. box by a subscriber. So it's very, very special to me, as well as the formula is insane. Like, it is just so insane the way these shine, and it really sucks because while I was doing this tutorial, you can't see the way it looks in person. If you guys have used Pat McGrath shadows before, you guys know they are so bomb. Honestly, I don't think there is a dupe for these shimmers. The way they reflect, the way they shine, they're just so amazing. So I'm really excited to do a review on the Divine Rose 2 as well as play with it, because I haven't been excited for an eyeshadow palette like that in so long. Anyways, go ahead and moving on here. I have a neutral palette right here. This is the Gay Bestie. This is actually from JC Camarillo. This palette right here, I love it. It is so bomb. I actually created a look with this on a live video. However, I'm going to tell you the one thing I don't like about it is that it talks like...
Hey, Brad.
Listen to that.
You're going to slay this look. Today is your day, so everything and anything you do is going to be amazing.
Okay. I love JC. First of all, he is so sweet, and this palette is bomb. Like, literally the mattes in here are so good, and the pressed glitter is so bomb, as well as the shimmer shades, so bomb. However, if I was using this palette a lot, I would get a little annoyed. I'm like, oh, I don't really like the talking part of it. I do feel like it's like a little corny, but that I know I could just totally cut the little thing that makes it talk, but I don't know, I felt rude doing that. Anyways, though, as far as formula, this is bomb, and I don't feel like anybody talks about JC Camarillo or Camarillo Beauty, sorry, because they're just slept on. Seriously, so bomb. I absolutely love this for a neutral palette. It works so good. I just don't like that it talks. Okay, and next on the list is, I'm kind of like a 50-50 about, okay? This is the Jeffree Star Cremated palette. The reason why I'm 50-50 about it is, well, we're going to put aside the Jeffree drama for right now. We're talking about makeup only, okay? Like I said with the Norvina thing, we're talking about makeup only. So if you guys did not check out my review of it, this palette performed so well. You guys, when I was working at MAC for the longest time, I literally was like, I would talk people out of using any type of gray tones. If they wanted a smoky eye with gray, I would talk them out of it, because grays just don't work very well. They kind of get a little patchy, they get a little muddy, they just don't work very well. This palette, however, worked amazing. The reason why I'm kind of like 50-50 about it is, like I said, we're not mentioning the drama, we're just talking about the makeup, is because I kind of don't like the bottom 2 rows, and I really like the top 2 rows. So that's why I'm 50-50 about it. I'm kind of like splitting the palette in half. The top, it could be on my favorite, and the bottom could be on my least favorite, because yeah, the bottom row I'm just never going to use. This 3rd row right here I will use, and I did use it in my review. However, just not the bottom row. It's just way too ashy. Like, honestly, it looked like my elbows. But I want to say, for these 2 rows right here, you guys, they worked so bomb. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of like 50-50 about this one. And I want to say, you know what, I know Jeffree Star, and I even said it inside my review video, I'm not going to be purchasing his products anymore. He does make really good quality products, as well as very unique. Like, just look at this, it's just very unique. Speaking of which, and I know a lot of you guys who are like anti-Jeffree right now are going to be like, but this is actually one of my favorite palettes. The reason why is because it reminds me of my Velvet Creepers, and I love my Velvet Creepers so much, as well as I love purples, just like I said with the Norvina palette. This right here is just a really pretty palette, and the colors work so well in there. The diamond shimmers were great, just like in the cremated palette. The diamond shimmers are bomb. His mattes are really good, but overall, as a makeup collector, I just love this. Like, to me, it's just so unique, and it's so, you know, velvety and so beautiful. And I really like it. And this is what I had said before. I wish brands would step out of the box and do unique things like this. But yeah, I overall love this palette. It really performed well. I know everyone's anti-Jeffree, and I said I won't be purchasing any more of his products, but I gotta keep it real. I really have enjoyed his palettes, besides the Conspiracy palette. His Conspiracy palette was the only one that I'm just kind of like about. Like, I would like I haven't used that ever since November, you know what I'm saying? However, the cremated palette, if I'm doing a gray look, I will use that. If I'm doing a purple look, I will use the Bloodlust palette. I feel like those were really good. So that is actually it. That wraps up this video. If you guys want like a video with all of my eyeshadow palettes, of course, go ahead and let me know. That video would be super long, because this video is already really long, but obviously I had a lot to talk about within this video. But y'all, let me know your 2 cents on all of these palettes, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.